want to welcome you all to The Gateway.
The Gateway is a video podcast directed and hosted by staff members of Somerset Community College's student newspaper, The Bridge.
This is The Gateway.
Hello, SEC, and just right off the bat, I want to say, look at this. We have mouths, believe it or not. Okay, but let's jump right into it. I'm your host, Eli Parker.
And I'm Makayla Scott.
And with us today is Mr. Trent Pool, the director of the University Center of Southern Kentucky. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Pool.
Thank you for the invitation. I appreciate it. I'm glad to be here.
That's awesome. So, right off the bat, University Center, what is that?
All right. So, the University Center of Southern Kentucky is a partnership that we've created between Somerset Community College and 5 higher levels of education. So the University of Kentucky, Lindsey Wilson College, Western Kentucky University, Eastern Kentucky University, and Morehead State. So this partnership has been developed and continues to develop because this, as you know, is just a few years in the making. This partnership is to create opportunities for our students here at Somerset Community College to be able to stay at home and complete bachelor's degrees, right? To go beyond that associate's degree, pursuing those bachelor's degrees without ever having to leave home. And our Somerset Community College campus and for some programs, even the centers and Laurel campus included, continues to be your home campus, if you will, even after you transfer. And so our objective is accessibility. That's part of our mission, access to higher levels of education, better employability, hopefully, right? Mm-hmm. And opportunities for our students who, 1, maybe can't move away, or 2, who don't want to move away. They choose to stay in their local area and want to contribute back to their local area. Can stay and complete those credentials and have access to advising and other student services without having to go away.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some of the programs that are offered through the University Center that students can look forward to,
Sure.
being able to complete here at home?
Okay. Good question. And we have a long list on the website. We encourage students to go to the Somerset Community College website. You can click on Affording College on the homepage. Scroll down and click on University Center of Southern Kentucky, and that will take you to the list of all the degrees. Mm-hmm. But just for the sake of our time in our meeting today, to share with you some of the programs that have some face-to-face components to it. Mm-hmm. So we have access through the University of Kentucky for RN to BSN. And that's a hybrid program if students want that. A lot of students want that completely online. Mm-hmm. But we do have that option to do a hybrid program with the RN to BSN if students have an interest in that. Morehead State, all of their programs currently are online programs, and they have a lot of transfer options there as well through Morehead State. We have a lot of our IT students that will transfer there. Different options in business and so forth. With Lindsey Wilson, we have a pathway for our students who get their Associate of Applied Science degree in business can transfer to Lindsey Wilson to continue and pursue a bachelor's in business, accounting and management. So that's really good for the AAS students. Mm-hmm. With Eastern Kentucky University, we have criminal justice on our Somerset North campus. So it's downstairs in the Blakely building. They have their room is there. You can walk down the hall and see their banner and their information. So students who want to get either, honestly, oftentimes those students will get their Associate of Applied Science in Criminal Justice and their Associate's, either AA degree. Oftentimes, our students will get both and transfer into that CJ program and complete their bachelor's in criminal justice right here on campus, but through Eastern Kentucky University. And so that's a nice option for our students, and it's offered in like a hybrid format, so you do online, but you also have some face-to-face classwork as well in that program. And then with Western Kentucky University, we have sociology, criminology, and management. Those 3 completion programs are 2+2s, and they're being offered at all locations of Somerset Community College. And we just recently, if you haven't seen the news, we just recently signed the latest agreement with Western Kentucky University for elementary education.
Oh, that's great.
Big program, a lot of interest. We've got a lot of folks communicating about this. We had our first orientation last night here on campus, so our Western Kentucky University faculty came down and gave those students their orientation for the LED program. And so we had probably somewhere total between they did open house and orientation, so we probably had about a dozen students, so we were really pleased with that. And so that program is designed to where you have your 2 years associate degree with us, and then 2 years of your bachelor's degree with Western Kentucky University. We are making that, thanks to Western Kentucky University's commitment, accessible to all sites of Somerset Community College. And they're going to work with our students so that they can do their student teaching in their area that they live in.
Oh, that's
Okay,
awesome.
yes.
That's
This
really
is,
awesome.
and I appreciate this opportunity because we need more people to get the word out about this. This is really big. You literally don't have to go to Western Kentucky University until you're ready to walk across the stage and accept your diploma, right?
Yeah.
Everything, the student teaching, the whole 9 yards, they came here for their orientation, right? Everything is here. And so really excited about that program. We have our first cohort that will start this fall, and that program will be a fall start each year. So.
Okay.
So that just kind of gives you an overview of some of the programs that we have going so far. Oh, and if I can share, in addition to that, Somerset Community College recently applied for and received what's called an RPEDS grant. And we call it Roots. And what it is, it's a support grant for students who come to SCC and want to do a completion pathway like elementary education.
Okay.
And so there will be mentoring and tutoring and support for students who start with SCC and work their way toward that elementary education program. And that's just the beginning stages of this grant. Over $1 million grant. Only 8 of these were awarded in the nation, and SCC was one of the recipients.
That's awesome.
That's
So
really good.
I would encourage you to interview, if you have time to work it in your schedule, Sandra Standish, and Catherine Tackett, and Holly Alexander. Those folks are the ones that wrote that grant and can certainly give you more detail than I can. But just what timing for that to become available at the time that we were able to complete this LED agreement, and we're implementing this first class this coming fall. Here comes this grant opportunity. It's just pieces falling into place for students, right? So very, very excited about that and the possibilities that we have for students within the Somerset Community College region.
As you should be. So, specific, like you mentioned, fall. Is there a specific or best time rather to get involved with this program to get started?
So, when it comes to the University Center in general, all of the University Center, and really transfer altogether, we really want students communicating with us as soon as you come to SCC, right? Why? Because we want you working with that transfer advisor every single semester. You're working with your SCC advisor, right? So if you come to SCC, Eli, and you said, Trent, I think I want to be an LED teacher, and this is your first semester at Somerset Community College, then what I want to do is get you connected to Stephanie. So you work with your first year experience class, you work with your advisor, your care advisor, and your faculty advisor, but you're also working with Stephanie every semester. That way, by the time you get ready to graduate at SCC, everything, you've taken all the classes you're supposed to have. You've got your transfer application to your transferring institution complete, scholarship deadlines, you're meeting those, you're not missing something with a scholarship deadline, right? All of your steps are in place as you're going. Now, you know as well as I do, students change their minds of what they want to major in, right?
Amen to that.
That never happens.
Guilty as charged.
There you go. Well, I was there too. Yes. And so we realize those kinds of things happen, but that's another good reason for that transfer advisors to say, okay, So we're shifting gears, then we've got to be really careful what we take. Let's make sure we're strategic in what we're doing here forward to make sure we make the best path for you when you transfer. Yeah.
So, going back around to the programs, is it just bachelor degrees that are offered, or do they offer masters?
Good question.
Anything like that?
Great question. And yes, they do. We have a master's degree through Lindsey Wilson. So one of the bachelors is Human Services and Counseling that Lindsey Wilson offers on campus. Actually, they have two formats. You can do that program on campus or you can do it completely online. And the master's degree that follows that, Makayla, good question, is the same way. You know, you have a face-to-face option, but you also have an online option. And, you know, now this is a personal opinion. I think if you're working with people in a human services field, in my opinion, I think it's a good idea to have some face-to-face classes.
Yeah.
Let's work on these communication skills a little bit.
Yeah.
And I love online. Don't get me wrong. I think online is a great format, but I do think that's an aspect that's important, especially in that particular career field. So yes, great question. Yes, there are even master's options, and you know, who knows? The sky's the limit for the future. Who's to say we couldn't do some sort of doctoral cohort in something someday down the road? Nothing's on tap right now, so I'll say that, but it's not an impossibility, right? So it's certainly possible. Great question.
So speaking of the future, so the biggest thing looming in the air of Somerset right now is the possibility of a four-year university. Is there any clashing or effects that will come with the university center at all? Or?
I don't think so. With the university coming to Somerset, we basically have to wait and see. What do they develop? What types of programs? What types of majors do they create at this university? And then certainly we want to work with them in transfer, right? The point of the model of the university center is accessibility here, right? They're already here. So you wouldn't necessarily have to have them as a partner of the university center, but you definitely want them as a partner of your transfer center because they're here, right? And so just as I try to build pathways, not just with our university center partners, but with all colleges, we just add them right to the list of other institutions that we see strong programs develop into strong programs, accredited programs. Of course, you want to make sure programs are accredited, and as long as that is a clean, viable pathway for a student, then absolutely, I just see it as more opportunities and for students in the future when that time comes.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
So no tensions, no struggles of any sort. It's more of wait, see what they develop. And then at that time, make sure these are good, strong programs, and then sit down and say, okay, how can we work together for the students that want to come the community college route first? Let's work some pathways that will assist them in coming to you afterwards, right? And as well as I do, we had this discussion just a minute ago. Students change their minds. So they may come here thinking they're going to XYZ university, but then decide they want to go to the new university that's coming to Somerset. We want to be ready to help a student make that switch if that's what they choose to do. Yeah.
So whenever a student gets done with their time at the University Center, on their diploma when they graduate, does it say University Center on it?
Good
or
question.
Is it, yeah.
Excellent question. No, it does not. So their diploma, if they are a student through Western Kentucky University, then their diploma will be a Western Kentucky University diploma. Nowhere on their diploma will UCSK be there. That is the title of our partnership, not their granting of degree. And so whoever their institution is that they transfer to, that's their diploma. If it's UK, it's going to be UK, right? Lindsey Wilson, Moorhead, Eastern. Western. So UCSK is just that collaborative work and that collaborative effort to be able to provide everything local. Yeah. Good question. Really good question.
So in a sense, and correct me if I'm wrong, so the University Center is not particularly its own entity, but more of the bridge way between like this college and the next
Exactly.
XYZ.
Absolutely. That is correct. Yep. We are not a degree granting institution. We're just that centralized group within Somerset Community College, but partnering with those institutions to provide these pathways.
And you're here to help. So
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Exactly. Krista Atwood is the administrative assistant for our transfer center and the University Center of Southern Kentucky. Does a wonderful job, amazing job, running that office and the center. And so encourage students to stop by. Stop in. If an advisor's available, certainly we'll get you to them. But if they're booked or they're not there that day, we would love to set up an appointment for students to come back and meet with that advisor. Our UK advisor came down the other day and booked solid. Had 6 students. The entire, his whole day was filled. So we want to see more of that. I know a lot of students need, because of time in life and work and family and such, they need online, and certainly our advisors are willing to work with students online. They're just great, all sorts of email and such, but we really would love to see more and more students coming in, meeting with these advisors in person, getting that connection with somebody who's going to be there, your go-to. Right, even once you transfer after SEC and say you come to the criminal justice program, well then Gale Creekmore is up in the University Center, and if I've got an issue or a question about something out at EKU, I'm going to head straight up to the University Center, because if she doesn't know the answer, she's going to get me connected to the right person. You've got your go-to there, right? And that's that relationship that we want to develop and build for our students, and do it early. Right, that's the key. Let's do this very first semester. We want our students in right away and start those communications.
And well, I believe with that said, that's all the questions we have today. And there's more information and perhaps reiterations in our most recent issue of The Bridge, February issue right there. And just want to thank you again, Mr. Poole, for joining us today and enlightening us about the University Center and all the benefits of it.
Well, Eli and Makayla, thank you. I appreciate you guys inviting me. I was excited about this, and please help us promote.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Absolutely.
We want this to build. We want it to grow, and this in turn helps our region grow economically. Stronger employees, better jobs.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes.
Access to higher education.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For more information on SCC student newspaper, The Bridge, or the Gateway Video Podcast, email us at sccthebridge@yahoo.com or contact one of the course advisors.
This is the Gateway signing out.